Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Team Acne channel. Today, you saw the title, and this is going to be a bit of a more serious topic. This is definitely pretty heavy. This may not apply to everybody, so, if you're here for other acne advice and this kind of stuff doesn't really apply to you, that's totally fine. You can just skip on to another video, but a lot of people have been asking for this, and I think a lot of people are going to benefit from this. Before I get into any of this, I want to mention that if you are someone who is dealing with serious suicidal, tendencies and just the thought has, reoccurred with you and you are unsure of whether or not it is a danger, I highly, highly suggest to reach out to professional help. Listening to videos and stuff is really helpful. You can get a lot of advice, insight, change your perspective and stuff like that. But I think really, if you need help, do not be ashamed of reaching out for it. It is not something that you should feel bad about. It's something that will help you. And loads of people who have survived through either suicide attempts or having suicidal thoughts have been able to come out the other end because they reached out for help. So don't be afraid of that. And if anyone shames you for it, you don't need them in your life. You can leave them out for quite a long time or ever. By the way, also, I'll put a suicide hotline number below this so you can check that out immediately. Also, my girlfriend does a lot of mental illness and mental health stuff on her channel, so if you want to check that out, you can check that out. More importantly, though, she does have a link for an online therapy, an online psychologist website, basically. It's the same thing as if you went to a therapist, except you can do it from your phone, you can do it from your house instead of having to actually go. If anything, just reach out for professional help if you are at that point. Put it all below. Now we can move on into this, and I'm going to just give my perspective, give my thoughts about it and what can help and what I think drives a lot of people to depression and suicidal thoughts, especially with acne. Now, my story, I think a lot of you guys know it, but I've had super severe acne, like cystic all over my face. Like literally, you couldn't go through a day without people mentioning it type of acne. So it was the center of my life. And that's what drives a lot of people to depression, is because it's the center of your life. And a lot of people make you feel that way. I've also had quite a few friends who have had serious depression issues. I've also had a few friends who have attempted suicide. I've had friends who have actually succeeded in suicide. So this is a very serious topic. It's something that's very near and dear to me. And that's why I want to, open up on this one and kind of explain to you guys what I think about it and what can help. When it comes to how you feel about yourself, I think that determines a lot of the reason of why a lot of people get depressed. I think that you have value systems. We all have value systems, right? So like when you think of what makes you happy or what's good or what's bad, it's a value system, right? We all have different value systems. And I think for the purpose of this, I want to break down the value system into 3 levels: a shallow level, a medium level, and a deep level. A shallow level, when it comes to the value system, I think is based off of a lot of what do other people think? What do I want? Not what do I need. What do I want? Like what kind of car do I want? Or what kind of clothes do I want? Or what do I want to do? Or what do I want to achieve? Fame or money or whatever, so that people will like me. A shallow level is really based on seeing what other people have, seeing what seems cool, seeing what seems important. But it's only important on a shallow level because it's only important because other people who are focused on this level have deemed that it's important. So this will make more sense as we go. But the medium level, I think, is what am I deeply passionate about? What brings me joy even if nobody else is around me? For example, mastering a song on an instrument, that you're learning, or hiking a gigantic mountain that took a week, the Appalachian Trail or something, or learning to move your body. Those are some examples. No one needs to be around you, but you just learned how to do a backflip. You don't need somebody to be like, you did a backflip, I think you're cool. No, you're like, I can do something new with my body. I'm passionate about this. It makes me excited. On the deepest level, I think, and this one's hard for a lot of people to conceive because a lot of people don't actually ever really think about this level, but the deepest level is how can I serve others? What can I do to make other people's lives better by my existence or by what I do? And ultimately, the biggest question is, what do I leave behind when I eventually die? Now, I think the problem is, a lot of people, especially in the society that we live in, is we hyper focus on the shallow level, that first level. And I mean, just by the name of it, shallow. It's way not important, and we put a lot of weight into it. All right, so here's a quick example of how the shallow level really doesn't mean anything. And a lot of you I know are probably listening in probably high school, college, things like that. And so think about this. Right now, with people at your school, you want them to like you, right? And say you spend all 4 years of high school trying to get those people to like you. And then say you succeed and they love you. All the popular kids think you're awesome. All the people who are, super fashionable or always like cool and like everybody's all impressed with them and stuff, they all think you're awesome because you really nailed it with them. Now you move forward after high school and people go to college, and then 10 years later, you're all doing your own thing and you haven't talked to any of those people. And so ultimately, what did it mean that you reached the pinnacle of success in the shallow level? It meant nothing. You didn't realize it until then, but it didn't mean anything. Subconsciously, you knew it didn't matter what those people thought about you, and ultimately added up to nothing but a waste of time. If you would have used your time more effectively, instead of focusing on what those popular kids think about you, if you had focused on what can you do to make you happy without anybody else, what can you do to increase your passion, what can you do to improve yourself, or what can you do to improve other people's lives, etc., etc. Imagine for 4 years or even 10 years, you spent time on an instrument you wanted to learn, or dancing, or learning to rock climb really good, or you were building something with your family. You built a restaurant that grew into multiple restaurants. You've now left a legacy, and you're young and blah blah blah. All that's going to feel a lot more important because you built something that mattered, and you helped other people build something that mattered. With life, we often look at life with the question of what is my purpose here, right? It's a little cliche, but we've all heard of that. We've all thought of that. And if you really break it down, if your purpose in life is to be liked by people who are living in the shallow level, of course you're never going to reach a point where you feel fully satisfied, because the things that are in the shallow level of value system are fleeting. They aren't there forever. They don't really matter. For example, here's a quick one. Like if you were really popping and really mattered in the trendiest type of music in the 90s, you don't matter now. Or even just 5 years ago, where's Rich Homie Quan? None of that stuff matters because those people were important in that shallow level, but then people quickly adjust because the shallow level is not rooted in anything, so it quickly flows, and all of a sudden you don't matter. And if you base everything on that, as soon as you stop being the thing that matches the shallow level, even a little bit, you deviate from it, no one cares about you anymore. And also, since that's where all your value is based on, you don't think you matter anymore. I think another thing that's really important as humans is that we all desire to progress in something. And I'll put this in a way that will probably make it ding for you, is think of like the last time you played like a video game that you were really addicted to, or you got into a sport that you were super addicted to, right? The reason that you were addicted to it was because you had to start not very good at it, but you were able to get better. You were able to learn more, or you were able to earn more, and eventually you were able to do more things, and you were inspired, and it was really exciting. It made you feel good, and it brought you a lot of joy and passion because you improved something about yourself, or you improved something that you were working on. That same principle of wanting to improve something in a video game and going, getting better at levels and stuff applies in real life too. If you can prioritize your value system on the deeper levels, especially if you can just avoid the shallow level and just really not think about that at all, you will be able to gain this feeling of satisfaction because you are progressing. And as humans, we really need to progress, but it's important that the progression that we are focused on is based off of a value that's actually important. I think that's where we get screwed up. We live in a society where everybody's following the new Snapchat stories, and Kim Kardashian's going to have a baby? No, she's not going to have a baby. Oh, no, Kylie Jenner got her boobs implanted? Oh, just kidding. Who gives a crap? None of that matters. But the problem is, because we have so much of that in front of us, and we follow all these people who are really important and rich, and look, they got 16 cars, and look, they have like all these women around them and stuff, we get confused in our brain that stuff is actually important, when really all that stuff is a big theatrical show to entertain people who are focused on the shallow level. If you actually talk to somebody who is putting out that kind of content, like Dan Blazerian type of person, I will bet you 9 times out of 10, those people have actually figured out that they don't really care that much about that shallow stuff. They have 5 cars. They don't care about another one. But they know that people want to see it, so they do the theatrical show for us, and they make another thing happen. They do something else that's buzzy and stuff. So those people already know that the shallow level is not what's important, but that's what sells, and that's what we see every single day in society, on TV, on Snapchat, on social media, all that kind of stuff. And it muddles our value systems into putting all of our priority into the shallow level and not the medium or the deeper levels that really matter. I know there's a lot of ways that you can address depression and suicide when it comes to acne, but I think that applies so heavily to acne. And I think that acne just amplifies the want for the shallow level to be important because, obviously this is way harder to do if you have acne than if you don't. When people are making fun of you every day or people are pointing out your acne every day, it forces your brain to have to look at things in the shallow level. These people just said something about my acne. Now I know that people are thinking about my acne. Now I am valuing myself based off of what those people said or just the fact that they did say that. And that sucks, but that's the reality, and that's where we get trapped. And then a lot of times, if we don't have any priority on the medium or the deeper levels of what value is, then we will get depressed and we can get confused that actually matters, what people think about you. And we think, if I could just get my face clear, if I could just, gosh damn, be clear, then people would love me. And then I would love me because I would finally be valuable on the shallow level of things. But unfortunately, that's not the truth, and that actually pretty much never happens. If you clear your face up and you've never thought about the deeper things, cool, now you have a clear face, but you've got a big forehead. Oh, you have wrinkles. Your teeth aren't straight. You just aren't focusing on those things because those aren't the loudest thing in the shallow level that people are pointing out. But as soon as you fix your face, you are going to have other things that they're going to point out, because people who live in the shallow level will always look at other people and put their stupid shallow level values on those people. If you don't have a priority on those deeper ones, you will listen to those things those people are saying, and it will affect you. But if you ground yourself into those deeper levels, you focus on you, what makes you happy, what your passions are, what you can do to serve others, when people bring up shallow level things, yeah, maybe it hurts. Maybe you'll hear it. Maybe you'll say, I wish I didn't have acne, or yeah, my face is looking red. Thanks for pointing it out. But then, in the deep part of your mind, that doesn't really matter though, because later today, I'm going to do a bigger dive than I've ever done before. I'm going to use the high dive. I've never done that before. I'm always on the low dive. So cool, I have acne on my face. You don't want to go to dance with me. Whatever though, I got to get to the pool, and I got to focus on not dying when I jump off of that diving board. You see what I'm saying? It's not that simple. Right? I'm making this sound a bit more simple than it is. And if you're someone who has depression, you're probably listening to me like, yeah, that sounds super simple. And yeah, you're a happy guy, so it's a lot easier for you. I understand that it is an extreme, deep struggle, but if you just deny ever even thinking about anything or trying to progress in anything, then everything anyone's going to try to do to help you is going to sound really stupid. And if that's the point that you're at, if you feel helpless, if you feel hopeless, and there's nothing that's helping at all, that is the time when you need to reach out for professional help. But if you are dealing with, moods where you feel very depressed and other times where you feel very happy, you can really change your value system and your perception, and that can change the way that you deal with these depression swings and any thoughts that you have. And that's what I wanted to share. I could go on for a really long time, but those are the things that I generally talk to people about when they are talking about depression is the value systems, and that's what I wanted to share today. So I think I'm going to wrap it up because I think it's getting a little bit long. If you guys would like me to talk more about depression, suicide, or really anything along this line, I would love to. So leave it in the comments below. Share your stories, anything that you think would help other people, because people go through the comments as they're watching videos. And yeah, that's it for today. I just wanted to pop on here and talk about this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful, and I'll leave all those links below the video. Give it a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You are beautiful. You are not alone. You are part of Team Acne.